Extremely dominant in adaptive sports. He happens to have 9 adaptive X Games gold medals. It's going to be a 6-lap race, and the question is, who's going to get out to that early hole shot as we get set to kick it off here? Here we go, neck and neck for the lead there. Mike Schultz there on the far left side, coming up that uphill straightaway right there. On to the final lap right here. Let's see if he can do it again. There you go. Mike Schultz is going to make it 2 years in a row out here at Snowcross Adaptive.
Such a proud feeling to be at these events and see it's more than me competing for the medals. It's about the influence I have and my company BioDapt has on so many athletes from around the world. I started BioDapt in 2010 officially, and it all started from me becoming an amputee from a snowmobile racing accident in December 2008. Going into the 2008-2009 season, I just started with a new race team, so my environment was different, and I really had a new fire to see what I could do. I honestly believe that my best was yet to come. We get to the second round of the national tour in northern Michigan during a qualifying race. I got a horrible start, and about halfway through the race got thrown off the side of my machine. Landed feet first, and on impact my left knee took the bulk of the hit and hyperextended 180 degrees in the wrong direction. My popliteal artery was severed by the compound fracture of my tibial plateau. There's a hospital nearby, less than a mile away, but they weren't equipped to deal with my severe situation, so they tried to transfer me via life flight, but a snowstorm had moved in and chopper couldn't fly, so we had to get back in the ambulance, and Sarah was by my side the whole time, just trying to keep me calm. Yeah, it took 5.5 hours from the time of the injury to the time I got to a trauma hospital in Duluth, Minnesota. The doctors did everything they could to try and piece things back together, but overall my overall health was going downhill really fast. And basically the doctor talked to us about the only good way to move forward is to amputate your leg just above the knee. And we agreed that was the best way forward. So pretty much immediately after that conversation, I went back into surgery and had my leg amputated about 3 inches above the knee. The light at the end of the tunnel was getting my first prosthesis. That was another huge step, literally and figuratively. It was about 5.5 weeks after the amputation, I got to try on my new walking leg, which I took to it pretty quick. Getting back on my motocross bike, I realized that I need some new equipment or some different adaptive equipment to help me ride the way I wanted to ride. And I look at things mechanically, nuts and bolts. That's my jam. That's my second passion in life. So I'm like, okay, I can't find what I need, so I'm gonna go to the shop and I'm gonna start designing and build what I need. I found out about the Summer X Games Adaptive Supercross, which is a dirt bike race for amputees and paraplegics. So the moment I heard of that, it's like, yep, this is where we got to go. So that's where all my effort went, and started designing the prototyping process of my MotoKnee. Within a few months, racing X Games motocross, and then followed up with get back on the snowmobile, and evolving into realizing that there's so many other amputees that could benefit from this equipment that I was developing. And yeah, shortly after, I decided to create a company around it, and with the hope of developing and manufacturing the highest performance lower limb prosthetic equipment. As our company's been around longer, we're looking into better manufacturing options, whether it be for our production parts or for development of new equipment. And time is important, especially when you're developing equipment. And so we came across Protolabs, and the quick turnaround they have on really complex machine parts was extremely helpful for us when we were developing some of our equipment. And I just remember, just recently, one of our athletes had their MotoKnee lost on an airplane over in Europe somewhere, and we had a competition coming up, and we had to quickly create one of the custom parts he was using. And so we just loaded up into the Protolabs site, and within 2 days we had a part, and I shipped it over to him, and he was back going again. He didn't even miss a competition, even though his very specific custom prosthetic leg was lost in the luggage bag somewhere in Europe. So having access to quick manufactured parts is extremely helpful, especially when we're working with high-class athletes. So I'm releasing about 7 pounds of air pressure out of the ankle, which is gonna just allow the ankle to dorsiflex easier. Let's give that a try. We can still go more if needed.
My name is Noelle Lambert. I'm from Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm a US Paralympian. I run track and field, and I run the 100-meter dash. I was a 3-sport varsity athlete in high school, and I earned myself a Division I scholarship to play lacrosse at UMass Lowell. In 2016, the summer following my freshman year, I was involved in a moped accident that caused me to lose my left leg above the knee. And when I realized that my left leg was gone, the first thing that I thought of, it was sports, and it was lacrosse, because I didn't know who I was as a person without being an athlete. But having that determined mindset and having the support from my family, my friends, coaches, and teammates, I was able to return to the lacrosse field and was the first above-knee amputee to ever play collegiate lacrosse. And I was actually able to score a goal in my first game back. Going back and watching the video, it's very special to me because I credit my success always to my teammates and my coaches. They were the ones believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. There were so many days that I wanted to quit because it was so difficult. It took many hours of, the tears, sweat, and blood, but I just kept telling myself, I need to do this, because if I don't do this, then who is going to? And then when I graduated, I transitioned my focus and started a brand new sport that I've never competed in my entire life. I picked up track and field. When I graduated, I didn't want to hang out my athletic career just yet. I literally signed myself up for the first track meet that I saw. When I crossed the finish line, I beat the reigning national champion, I won my first race, and I also hit the qualifying times to be a part of the US Paralympic national track and field team. 2 years later, I was able to qualify for my first Paralympic Games, and I broke the American record. I placed 6th in the world, and now I'm currently training for Paris 2024.
I met Noelle, 2021? After our first conversation, I could tell that she was she was a go-getter. She wasn't too far out from her amputation, just a few years, I think, and just trying new things. And I'm really excited to work with her and see what we can do to further increase her performance, try and elevate her athletic performance through power and strength, which ultimately is gonna make her a faster, quicker runner. Yeah, she's got quite a story, and just being a recent player on Survivor. I mean, how rad is that?
I was terrified. I told myself, how am I gonna be able to get through all of, just being in that environment of living on the beach with the salt water and the sand, because those do not mesh well with prosthetics. And then I told myself, you know what? This is my opportunity to show the world what amputees are capable of, to prove to not only myself, but to the entire world that just because I'm disabled, it doesn't mean I'm broken. And if I don't do this, then who is going to? Who's gonna show that positive representation for the amputee community on a show like this? This is my chance. Getting the positive feedback from people who are disabled, people who are amputees, people who are just going through difficult times, telling me that just because they saw me on this show, getting to see me be so vulnerable and accomplish, one of the hardest things, that's what made everything worth it. I remember there was a full-on water challenge, and I actually took my whole prosthetic leg off, and I did the whole thing with one leg. And it was at that moment that I proved to my tribe mates and to all the other castaways that I deserved to be there and that I wasn't the weakest person. I was able to do every single challenge. I found a way to do every single one. Even if I failed or I didn't come in first, that doesn't matter. I was able to actually get through it and I was able to actually experience it.
So do like, yeah, 3, 4. Just jumping right into it. There you go. So we got Noelle here. We're really trying to increase the performance specifically to her in the gym so she can become a more powerful sprinter. And so we've got a few parts that we can modify or adjust, a couple different flexion range options, and then she's also going to test out one of our brand new prototype action knees. So it's a little bit different design than the MotoKnee, a little smaller, more simple design. And then overall, we're just going to try and dial in tune the knee and the foot specifically to getting the most out of it in the gym through these strength exercises. So one of the parts that we're really going to be focused on is the side frame for the MotoKnee. So more specifically is the track roller right here where the bearings roll down, and that's what gives the knee system its resistance through motion, and we can change that profile. And the precision of the machining of it is quite crucial for it to work properly. You know, knowing that all the parts are going to roll and wear correctly and evenly is a really big important piece of the puzzle, so to speak. And so, you know, knowing that the machining is done at a high quality is definitely very important to us. Now, working with Protolabs for a lot of different components that we build, what really turned me on to working with them was the ease of the website and uploading files to it in order to get quotes or estimated delivery times. And like, that's so efficient and easy to use. Like, I love it. It's not sitting there waiting for a week to get a quote back or, you know, to get a part analyzed. It's so quick and efficient, and that's probably the biggest, most important thing that keeps us, you know, working with Protolabs. Okay, so just got your new MotoKnee 2 set up. So the difference is the track roller system right here. So we added another rate on there. So when you get 3/4 of the way or 2/3 down into the flexion range, it ramps up and gets stiffer. So like when you're doing the squats, trying to get real low, it's going to kind of give you a little bit of assist to stand back out of it.
Okay. Having something like the MotoKnee and feeling comfortable putting all my weight on my left side, I don't have to wait for anything. I can explode when I want to. You know, I'm still learning because I want to say that I know exactly how Mike does everything. I mean, he is a brilliant person because how he's able to construct something like this, I think that's incredible.
There you go. Yeah! When I decided to create BioDapt and wanted to share this equipment with other amputees, like I wanted to make it real versatile, and that allows it to be used for a lot more activities. And yeah, it's just a great tool that allows us to get back in those high impact sports.
I'm very grateful for, you know, Mike Schultz and the BioDapt company, because with having this type of prosthetic, I feel like in my training, it has excelled me. And it's everything that I want to accomplish in the weight room, I'm able to. I think the benefit that I'm having is just to be able to work with someone like Mike, who has gone through, you know, so many different lengths of trying to make amputees feel comfortable in doing all these extreme sports. I think having somebody like him is a huge reason why we've been able to take the step of, you know, people feeling like somebody with a disability isn't somebody who's broken. It gives hope to us amputees that we're still going to be able to live out our dreams. I have no idea how he does it. He's a magician, and just getting to be a part in the same room and seeing the different components and what we're trying has been extremely crucial for me. And that's going to help me and prepare me for when I'm competing in the summer games or eventually even maybe the winter games.
Our company works with a lot of real high profile athletes, and they've got huge competitions, you know, around the world. And if something breaks or if we need a quick redesign for a prototype piece,
being able to have a company that can react so quickly and have a finished part within a day or two, I mean, that could make the difference of, you know, gold medal or not competing at all, you know, because of a broken part. So having the quick reactive speed of Protolabs getting us a part like within a day or two after we order it, that's something cool.